Hi everyone, and welcome to this week's Wallsend history story. This week is another in the series of old high street shops. Just like the other videos, this will tell you what used to be there, a little bit of information about the old shop, and then show you what's there now. And I just want to add, this video, like the others, is more of a memory jogger than a history story due to the lack of information about a lot of the shops. I hope you will enjoy it and find it interesting. The first shop that I am going to talk about this week is KFC. Now this advert dates from around 1980 or 1981. I don't have the exact date, but it's about the opening of the new KFC on Wallsend High Street, which was apparently open 7 days a week from 11 AM until 11:30 PM. So it was actually open a lot later than it is today, as I believe it closes at around 10 PM now. Now this is one shop that I can definitely say that I have been in, as I do love KFC, although I don't go in very often. I have to admit that I was really pleased when the Wallsend shop opened, as it saved me going to the town back when I was a lot younger. Of course, this is one where in the same location today is the same shop, as KFC is still there. And it's interesting to see that some shops are still the same some 40 plus years later. But having had a discussion with my helper, we believe that KFC closed down for a while and Harry Haddock's was then in this shop before that closed and KFC returned. So I am hoping that someone watching might be able to confirm if that was the case. Going even further back though, this shop was part of the old co-op. Now the main part of the co-op was on Carville Road, but it was a huge shop on both sides of the road, that would be Carville Road, and it did stretch round on to the high street. And the co-op finally closed down in this location when it moved into the new purpose-built building in the Forum in April of 1967. Sticking with the same area for this next shop, and that is Tom's Discount Store. Tom's opened in 1977, and this was another value store selling all manner of different things from toys to clothes. I have to admit that some of the prices are rather amazing and some of the items sound a bit dodgy, such as the kids' shiny nylon polo necks, but at 89 pence they were pretty cheap. And I would actually quite like to buy one of their Parker jackets for the great price of $5.99, but it turns out that they were only for kids, so I'll have to settle for a turtleneck jumper for 99 pence. Tom's was a really popular shop, and I am sure that many of you will have good memories of shopping there. But I have to ask, did anyone buy one of their ventriloquist dolls for 99 pence? Not much good for me, as I actually struggle to say ventriloquist, let alone talk properly without moving my lips. I am struggling with my memory a little bit with this location as well, but I am pretty sure that later in the same place where Tom's once was, we had pound stretchers. So if anyone knows for sure, then please do let me know in the comments below. And of course, obviously, where Tom's was also was part of the co-op back in the past. Today, in the same location, you will find Peacock's clothing shop, and Peacock's has been there since at least 2015. Prior to that, it was Ethel Austin, which was another clothing store, and another memory that I am struggling with a little bit, but I think that it was also briefly Bon Marsh, but this wasn't the same Bon Marsh as the one that used to be on High Street East, which most people will remember, as this one only sold ladies' clothes. I have been in Peacock's, in fact I go in there quite often, and it does sell some canny stuff, and I recently got some fab fluffy socks in there. The next shop I'm going to talk about is one that dates back to a time before the Forum was built, and that is a shop called Carol's. Now, I have no memory of this shop at all, as it was demolished in the mid-60s to make way for the Forum Shopping Centre. And Carol's, according to their advert, specialised in baby linen, knitwear, blouses, underwear, wools and hosiery. And you could find Carol's on the first block of the High Street West near to the Station Hotel. Now, the photo that I have seen shows that it was quite a small shop, but it seems it is possible that they did have another shop on High Street East. And now I know that this is not the best photo in the world, and I do apologise, but it wasn't until I had completed a freezing trip to Wallsend to get the up-to-date photos that I realised I didn't have a photo of this one. So this is a picture that I took several years ago, and obviously I have had to crop it a little bit so that you can see where Motorworld is, and this is possibly the location where Carol's had another shop. That's if I have actually got the location right, which I hope I have. Today, in the same location as the High Street West shop, you will roughly find Betfred. Now, I say it roughly as it is kind of hard to gauge for sure where the shops were on this side of the road, as the area is totally different now to how it looked before the Forum was built. But allowing for the shops from Station Road to the Station Hotel, and then allowing the alleyway between those shops and the pub, this is probably as close as we will get to the same location today. And obviously Betfred is not a shop that I have been in. The next shop I'm going to talk about is Phenis, and Phenis was a great little shop on the High Street. And at a time when people actually had appliances repaired, they were the place to go. And they also sold a lot of items as well. Things like, as their advert states, rebuilt vacuum cleaners with prices starting from £20 and rebuilt twin tubs from £45. And they also sold some brand new items as well. And I actually remember going here to buy fuse wire. How many of you listening can remember fuse wire? Our fuse box at the time was actually above the door in the kitchen area, and we often had to replace the wire. Now these days you mostly just press a button when the fuse jumps out. How many of you can remember Phenis, and how many of you went there to get your vacuum repaired, or maybe even to buy a good old twin tub washing machine? I am pretty sure that my nana got a second-hand twin tub there once. And I actually remember that when I got married back in the 1990s, I got a brand new one. Never having had one of the, as my nana would say, newfangled automatics, I thought that I had to have a twin tub. Now I kind of laugh at that now, as I have no idea why I would have wanted to stand around washing all day, when these days I can just bung stuff in the washer and walk away. Phenis was on High Street East, though I must admit to having had a little bit of trouble locating it, as the advert I looked at didn't give an actual number. However, I know that it was somewhere in this area, and I believe that it was most likely where this current empty shop stands. And this used to be Main Street Barbers, but they closed down a while ago and the shop has been empty since then. Main Street Barbers was in this location from at least 2008. The next shop I'm going to talk about is something called Carter's, which was at 46 High Street West. And this is one I simply can't remember at all, and this advert, which dates from around 1977, suggests that it is a shoe shop selling, among other things, Doc Marten boots from £11.60. Now honestly, if only they were as cheap as that today, I would have a house full of them. And they also sold riders from £12.95. Now I remember those well. They were very popular when I was a kid. So how many of you listening to this had riders? The location of the shop today is a little hard to pin down. St Oswald's, which is about the right place today, is listed as being numbers 44 to 50. So Carter's was very much where this stands now, with it being 46. However, it was unlikely to be as big as St Oswald's, as the advert does say that it was a small shop. Now, I've been in St Oswald's many times, and I do love a good charity shop, and I have got some canny bits and bobs in there lots of times in the past. Of course, before St Oswald's, in this location was the Northern Rock Building Society, and I can remember having an account there. Now, I believe it closed down and moved sometime in the early 90s, as I remember closing my account, then finding out that those who transferred to the Newcastle branch got money paid into their account for doing so. Now, I don't remember how much, but sadly I missed out on that one. How many of you can remember Northern Rock being on this part of the high street? The last shop I'm going to talk about this week is Tramps, which is another clothes shop with a somewhat odd name. And this used to be located at 28 to 30 High Street East. Now, this advert, which again dates from 1977, tells you that on offer in their summer sale, they had sundresses from £4.50, t-shirts from £1.10, and men's jeans, which had been reduced from £7.99 to £5.99. Now, I can't really remember this shop at all, and I don't think I ever bought anything in there. So can anyone listening to this remember Tramps? Today, in the same location, you will find H&T Pawnbrokers and Jack's Barber Shop. H&T has been there since at least 2008, but Jack's, since around 2008, has been a variety of different hairdressing shops. I do hope that you have enjoyed this short little video about some of the old shops that used to be on Wallsend High Street. As I have said with the previous videos, these often sadly only have pictures of adverts for the older ones, but I hope that it has still jogged your memory about some that you may have forgotten, or even some that you have never heard of. And I have used old photos whenever possible. And there's still loads more shops on the high street to cover, so I hope to include them in some future videos. I do thank you all very much for watching, and do please share your memories of this week's shops in the comments below, because I'd really love to hear them. And I do hope to see you all again very soon.